Hi guys, welcome back to the channel, FPL Consult here, and today we're going to take a look at my Game Week 2 team selection. So as per usual, we're going to go through how I did for Game Week 1 and then take a look at my potential transfer plans and my final team for Game Week 2. So hopefully you guys do enjoy this video, and if you do, please give it a like and also subscribe as well if you are new around here. Today's video is sponsored by Pooky, so we'll talk more about them at the end of the video. Now, let's focus on my score for Game Week 1, and currently my rank is at 214k in the world. Now at this point in time, your game week rank is essentially your overall rank, so honestly it does not really matter that much. We are only separated by a matter of a couple of points only, so that's not what I'm focusing on right now. I'm more focused on how I did for this game week and how the players that I have are looking to shape up for the coming game weeks as well. So for this week, I scored 85 points, which I think was a pretty good score, all things considered, right? And I'll jump into the players in a little bit, but the average was 64 points. So I think at this stage, trying to keep with the pack and try to get a little bit higher than the average is kind of the aim that I'm going to go for these couple of game weeks. So I am pretty happy that this week I scored 85 points, which is about 21 points above the game week average. So focusing on the players here specifically, Onana got 9 points. Now obviously this one is a controversial one because at the end of the game, obviously he kind of clattered into the Wolves striker, and that was a clear and obvious penalty, but it wasn't given, and that's why he kind of got his 9 points as well. So that was pretty lucky. But in other areas of my team, I also got pretty unlucky, right? The news with Gabriel also came out slightly earlier before the deadline, but I didn't react to that news, and so I still have Gabriel in my team. And the thing is, in hindsight, I think I would have made the swap earlier on, right? But currently I am faced with Gabriel, and he is one of my pending transfers out. But for the time being, I will probably keep him. I'll touch more on that in the second half of this video. But he got 1 point because he came on towards the 85th minute of the Arsenal game, right? So 1 point for him. On the flanks of Gabriel is Estupinian and Chilwell, both of them looking really good, very attacking, and both of them got bonus points along with the assist as well. They both could even have scored as well. Chilwell, of course, put the ball in the back of the net, which was disallowed. So 7 points for both of them. I really like that both of them are in my team, and they look pretty good for at least the immediate term as well. Alright, in the midfield, I have Saka, Mbeumo, Salah, Rashford, and Eze. Now, focusing on Saka first, incredible performance from him, 10 points, and he scored an incredible goal as well. So I think in general, Saka is a more template pick, and I would just imagine his ownership getting much higher after game week 1. And Mbeumo, 7 points. Now, kind of the same logic for Mbeumo and Pedro up front there. Both of them got 7 points, and the thing is, they both scored their penalties, and we did talk a little bit about how penalty takers are important to have in your teams. So Mbeumo and Pedro both converting their penalties, so I'm pretty happy with that. The rest of my midfielders, Rashford and Eze, they didn't really return. They only got their clean sheet points, and that's why it is 3 points for both of them. Salah, of course, put the ball in the back of the net against Chelsea, and if he had scored, if that goal was allowed, then obviously that would have been a mega haul. But because only the assists for Luis Diaz's goal stood, right? So that's why 5 points for Salah. But I am pretty happy, and I'm also confident of his minutes in game week 2, because there is some fear as to whether, because he was taken off at the 76th minute, is there a little bit of tension, etc., because of the way he reacted and all. But Klopp did come out and say there's nothing wrong with Salah. That was just a kind of a change that the Klopp felt that particular game needed fresh legs. So that's why they took Salah out and they put Harvey Elliott in. So I am pretty confident of Salah still, and of course game week 2 he'll probably be my captain. So we'll touch on that later on. But Haaland, 13 points, a brace against Burnley. What can we say, right? He wasn't even involved that much throughout the game, but he scored 2 goals, and that's kind of the Haaland that we know. He doesn't have to be very involved, but he just gets the goals, he gets the points, 3 bonus points as well. 13 points for him. Captain's armband, 26. Happy days there. Right, so on the bench, Turner, Colwell, Kabore, Osula, all of them, I'm pretty happy that they all featured as well. So this is an active playing bench for me, and I'm happy with the Osula pick as well, because out of all the 4.5 forwards, he's the only one that kind of got featured in game week 1. So That's for Sula. Kabori also looks pretty good. Levi Colwell at 4.5 feels to me like a very differential pick as well. So I'm pretty happy that I have him. And I think coming forward into the future game weeks, I probably will have to use him in some game weeks as well. Right. As for Turner as well, which I think in game week 2, I already am going to use him. So this is my team. This is my score for game week 1. Let me know how you guys got on for game week 1. And let's now take a look at my team for game week 2. So for game week 2, this is how I am shaping up. It's a 3-5-2 still, and it's exactly the same team. All I'm doing is I'm putting Onana on the bench and I'm bringing Turner into the starting 11. Now, Nottingham Forest did play defensively pretty well, right? They were pretty solid against Arsenal, and I do feel like Turner against Sheffield at home could get a clean sheet there as well. Right, so that's why Turner comes in for Onana. Aside from that, the rest of the team is completely the same. Right, game week 2, the plan was to roll the transfer, and even now with Gabriel, which I'll touch on in a bit, I don't feel like it's necessary to immediately take him out, right? Because I already have the players that I would want to immediately swap him out for, right? Players like Estupinian, players like Chilwell, right? So the plan for Gabriel is actually just to keep him now in game week 2, let him feature against Crystal Palace away, hopefully, right? Because the injury to Timber has kind of put a little shake up into the Arsenal defense, and I think we may see a different starting 11. At least defensively, right, for Arsenal against Crystal Palace, because simply Crystal Palace is a stronger side than Nottingham Forest, and Arsenal did not look the most solid defensively in the Nottingham Forest game as well. There were spells where they kind of lapsed in concentration and let Nottingham Forest through on goal as well. So I do feel like there's a decent chance that Gabriel may come in light of the fact that Timber got injured, and also they want to shore up that left side a little bit as well. So I am going to start him in my starting 11 for game week 2, right? And then hopefully, if he does get consistent starts, maybe he does not become an issue thereafter, right? So we'll wait and see for Gabriel. Estupiñán and Chilwell as well, they play Wolves away and West Ham away respectively. So hopefully they will get some good returns. And given how attacking they are, even if they don't keep clean sheets, I think their attacking threat just makes up for so much as well. Right, so in midfield, there's Saka, Mbeumo, Salah, Rashford, and Eze. And obviously, the big decision you see here is for me to captain Salah. And I think this was already the plan in game week 2. And the words that Klopp kind of said in the press conference after the game against Chelsea does give me a little bit of confidence that Salah will still continue to start, and his impression of Salah just has not changed, right? It's not that Salah had a bad game whatsoever, it's just that he wanted some fresh legs. But aside from that, at Anfield, Bournemouth, you definitely expect Salah to get a lot of goals and assists there as well, right? It could be a cricket score there. So that's why Salah is still my captain for me. I'm sticking to the plan. Aside from that, Saka, of course, Arsenal star boy, still going to be in my team. As for Mbeumo as well, on penalties, playing Fulham away, fully expect him to get some returns there. Rashford against Tottenham, it may seem like a difficult fixture, but Tottenham are just so poor defensively that I do feel that Manchester United will get a couple of goals against Tottenham. So hopefully Marcus Rashford can profit from there, even though attackingly they did not look that good against Wolves in game week 1. Now as for Eberechi Eze, I'm still choosing to start him ahead of maybe my bench options like playing Colwell or Osula, even though Eze has Arsenal at home, and that's because I feel like he was a little unlucky, right, not to get more returns in game week 1. He created loads of chances, and there were so many times when he could have gotten an assist if the chances were finished. So against Arsenal at home, whose defense aren't exactly watertight as well, I do feel like there may be one or two goals there, and obviously I would think that Eze would be involved as well. So I am choosing to start Eze ahead of my bench players for now. And then up front, there's Haaland and João Pedro. Now, of course, Haaland is my vice captain, and I'm sure going against him this week, a lot of people will just be captaining him, especially those who don't have Salah. So my hope is that he will stay quiet this week because I'm going different here. But at the Etihad, anything can happen for Erling Haaland. All I'm hoping for is that Newcastle can keep Haaland at bay, right? And I still do expect Man City to win, but the thing is they could win maybe by 1 or 2 goals, and hopefully Haaland stays quiet, right? And then João Pedro playing Wolves away. Of course, we know he's still on penalties, and of course, we also know that he is kind of preferred to Julio Enciso now. So I am pretty confident of his minutes, and as it was a gamble in game week 1 to calculated gamble, right, in game week 1, to gamble on his minutes and him getting returns in the first few couple of game weeks, but I don't really need him for that long more, right? After game week 2, from game week 3 onwards, it's actually possible to sell him already. So if that is in my transfer plans, come the end of game week 2, and we watch a couple of games and I decide that maybe João Pedro can be shipped out, right, then he could be one of my transfers out as well. So as long as he plays this Wolves game, which I think he will, right, and hopefully he gets some returns there, I think his time in my team is also numbered, right? So on the bench, I have Onana, as I mentioned just now. He's playing Tottenham away. Tottenham look pretty good in attack, so I think a clean sheet would not be that easy for Onana. So he'll be on the bench. Same for Colwell and Osula as well. I think both of them actually have decent fixtures and they could actually start. So if necessary, they can actually come into the team automatically, right, if any of these players in the starting 11 miss out. Last on the bench is Kabore, obviously a blank for Luton Town and Burnley. And this is how my team is shaping up. So a 3-5-2. Let me know what you guys think of Salah captain as well. Who is your captain for game week 2 and how do you get on for game week 1? Let me know down in the comments below, and all the best for game week 2. And before we end the video, let's talk a little bit about Pooky. So for those of you new to Pooky, Pooky is a free-to-play football predictions game, and basically it's as simple as making your football predictions and then getting rewarded after that. So I got a couple of scores spot on for game week 1. I got Burnley versus Manchester City 3-0, so that was spot on as well. I got Brentford and Tottenham 2-2, and I also got Chelsea and Liverpool 1-1. So those were pretty good and I got a lot of points there. As for the other games, I came pretty close. Manchester United, I predicted 2-0. It ended 1-0. Some of the other games that were pretty close as well. For Bournemouth, I predicted them to lose to West Ham 2-1, but the final score was 1-1. Right, so in the end, I ranked 52nd out of 794 players, as you can see above me here, and my rewards are based on my ranking. So given that I got 52nd place, I'm in this bracket here from 39 to 69, so my rewards are above me, as you guys can see here. So it's as simple as that. And for game week 2, I've already loaded my predictions. So I'll make a couple of predictions here, as you guys see, but I've already predicted 5 out of the 9 games actually that's happening, because Luton and Burnley is a blank. So Nottingham Forest and Sheffield, I already predicted 1-0. Some of the other games, as you guys can see here, Wolves and Brighton 2-0, etc. So I'll make a couple of predictions here on screen. For Liverpool and Bournemouth, I actually really think like this could be a rout, especially in Anfield. So I'm going to go for a bold one here and say 4-0 to Liverpool against Bournemouth, right? And there are a couple of other predictions that I haven't made as well, like Tottenham versus Manchester United. This one I think could be a very high scoring game, right? So I'm actually gonna put 3-2, right? I think I favor Tottenham a little bit more for this one. So I'm going to go Tottenham 3, Manchester United 2. This may turn a little bit of heads, but I am thinking like that could be the way it's going to go. Man City versus Newcastle, I predict this one to be quite tight. So I'm going to say 1-0 or 2-0 to Man City. I'm going to go for 1-0 for this one, right? Given that it's the Etihad, I still think a win for Man City is what we're going to see, right? And then lastly, Crystal Palace versus Arsenal. I'm going to go for Arsenal in this one, obviously. But because I have Eze, I think I'm going to put 1 here. I think we could see 1 goal for Crystal Palace, but I think 3 goals for Arsenal is fair to say for this one. So there we go. These are my predictions for game week 2. Basically, it's 9 out of 10 matches predicted because Luton and Burnley is a blank. So hopefully I rank well and get some rewards here. If you guys enjoy this kind of game and you want to give it a shot, there's of course a free to play basic league as well for you to try it out. And if you do like it, you can get a Pooky ball, and that will give you access to all the other bigger leagues as well. So if you do try it out, let me know what you guys think of it, and the link is in the description to check it out, right? You can create an account for free and play along with me as well. But that's it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and if you did, please give it a like and also subscribe as well if you are new around here, and I'll catch you guys in more game week 2 content very soon. Bye bye.